Today I want to speak on the spirit of discernment. Y'all forgive my froggy voice, it's in the morning time. But I was just thinking, the spirit of discernment, now that's a hard one, because you really have to be in your true, authentic self to understand the spirit of discernment. Because you have to follow that intuition that hits you when something's telling you, hey, this ain't right, you know. Hey, this making me feel some type of way. I don't think I should, you know, whatever it may be. But it's something that's going to hit you and be like, mm-mm. Or even sometimes that still small voice saying, now you know if you do this, this is going to happen, you know. And it's at that crossroads that we have free will. Because God had already said, hey, look, I done told you, don't do it. So you have to flow with that, don't do it. But if you say, no, I got that. Well, if that happens, I can do this, whatever. Nah, be prepared for the consequences. Just be prepared for the consequences. If you want to go ahead and do your free will, be prepared for the consequences. Because God already said don't. See, that's where people get it kind of confused. Because I think people, they believe in God, but I don't think they believe in God. They know that there's a God, but they just think that's something they'll have to deal with after they're dead. And I can understand why they say that, because that's kind of what they kind of tell you in church. But God is everywhere all the time. He rules everything because He made it. He made everything. So He has a hand in what's going on. That's why I always say nothing happens by coincidence. Everything is a lesson. But He gives us the spirit of discernment so that we can get through that lesson by following Him, trusting in Him, because He's guiding us. Sometimes we think we want this job, but that door is closed, you know. Because what is meant for you, it's going to find you. It's going to be with you. Especially if you raise your vibration to meet it. You send that energy out from yourself, being true to yourself. Want to reach that goal, want to whatever it is, but knowing that it's what God has for you is your purpose. And you'll know it by your soul. So He gives us, like I said, the spirit of discernment in everything that we do. But a lot of times we just ignore it. Because we're too busy trying to live our lives, which is a good thing. You're supposed to live your life. But which life are you wanting to live? The one where you work, trying to get this and get that, to where you lose your whole soul, trying to get this and that to gain the whole world. The spirit of discernment. Because if you go the other way around, where you're seeking God's approval, what God has for you, how He's showing you how to move, then everything will be added unto you. And He's ever present in your life, always. He's always trying to guide us back to that flock. The sheep, lost sheep, the one that got away, whatever. Not the one that got away, but the one that's out there straying in the world. God is always trying to guide us as that little lamb back to His flock, to His pool of sheep. Y'all know what I mean. Just a regular old person. But trying to make it to where anybody can understand what I'm saying. Because I think sometimes people be lost in the translation, or I don't know. I don't want to say lost in the translation, but sometimes people just need guidance. And if they're taught a certain type of way or see certain things, they don't get everything because they only see one way. That's why when my kids were growing up, I'd always try to make it a point to go somewhere other than where we were. Because there's people everywhere that live with different ways. All people are not the same. But if you don't ever leave where you're from, then you think everybody is just like that. And that's not so. So anyway, back to the spirit of discernment. I think that, God puts it on us each and every time we face with dilemmas, faced with questions, faced with challenges, faced with not knowing which way to go. He puts it in us, especially if we reach out and ask for it. Sometimes he nudges us because he know we still lost. We still trying to get it. But if you most definitely reach out and just ask God, help me with this. I don't know which way to go. He going to show you and he going to point it to you. Now, will you be listening? That's the part that only you have the discernment in. Anyway, discernment is truly a blessing to have. You just have to pay attention to the signs because they're everywhere. Like I said, God is omnipresent. If you believe in that, then you'll see him in everything that you do. You'll see him in everyday life. You'll see him when the birds chirp. You'll see him when the wind blows. You'll feel him all around you. He gives you the spirit of discernment. It lives within you. You just have to tap into it and know when it's talking to you. And letting God do his work for you by guiding you so that you can come closer with him in your everyday journey. All right. Love you guys. Till the next time. Hope that made sense to you. But just trust and know he got you in all things, and he makes all things clear. God bless.